Have you all decided in your righteous judgment and application of critical thinking that it is impossible I could have a familial resemblance with someone who may have been accused of something that none of you are even representing correctly? Kinda looks like me, so it must be me, and this is where all your righteous judgment has led you. I have intentionally kept my family and their trauma out of my channel for their safety. So consequently, none of you actually know anything about them. Yet you seem to just assume you do when it suits your desire to find some reason to hate. Despite all of you painting the false picture of guilt, this person has actually only been accused if you clicked on the link and actually read it, not actually found guilty of anything. And since that is the case, I wouldn't even be able to discuss anything surrounding this person or their situation, and I won't be baited into inviting more danger on my family or revealing extra personal details that might help facilitate that. At this point, I have very much learned that most in this environment truly just believe whatever they want to believe anyway. You let thick shades Photoshop the image before your very eyes in his live stream to make them as similar in appearance as possible, and have you stare at it for the duration of an hour-long stream, and many of you just gobbled it down out of the spirit of your desperate animosity and angst. This occurrence should be a mirror for you all to reflect upon how righteous your judgment actually is, and show the nature of most of this God-forsaken environment. I couldn't have even imagined a greater litmus test to the complete and utter lack of critical thinking or discernment in this community, and how even bothering to argue here anymore is likely just a futile effort anyway. Any attempt to actually exonerate myself in your eyes would require providing more personal and family information than I have ever wanted to share on my channel. This channel wasn't about me or my family. I did all I could to keep them out of it. But these disgusting people have forcefully dragged them into it, gone after my family, and put them in direct line of hatred that has been directed at me. And these people claim to be Christians. Yes, folks, it wasn't the atheists or the pagans that demonstrated this shocking level of moral deviance, but those that claim to be Christians. Let that sink in a bit, and wonder if all my statements about heretics being more dangerous than atheists is actually valid. In all of the rush of hatred, none of you even disclosed that this poor individual in this mugshot isn't even convicted, just accused. I couldn't think of a better way to clearly demonstrate that this was a maliciously illegal slander fest. You have now also tried to direct the hate that should be levied at me at multiple members of my family. Is this the righteous actions of these Christians? To take the offense I caused to them directly and cause actual danger to my family? And many of you, in your hatred, will only revel in the evil being done and jump on the assumption bandwagon. Well, feel free. My skin is thick. Call me all you want. Just leave my family out of your harassment and hatred. Nothing I have done or said has put any of these people or their family in danger. Yet they have done this to me. They whine and moan about how dare I say offensive things to these people, and then they try to get my very family harassed and doxxed and put in danger. This is just about the most mind-blowing hypocrisy I could ever imagine. Well, I am conceding to the threats that have been made and the harassment that has been produced. I do not want to be guilty of bringing harassment and physical danger on my family, so for fear of their safety, I'm going to pull away from YouTube for the time being. If it was just me, I wouldn't care. and I would just push on and let you all believe what you want. But my family has been through a monstrous set of traumas, none of which any of you are entitled to the details of, just so they can use them for evil means and intensify their pain and expose them to danger through the intense hatred directed at me. I am consulting attorneys and preparing paperwork and collecting details and evidence on these people who act with such recklessness and dangerous antics. Perhaps the reason they did this to me and were so foolish about advertising their admissions is so they can finally be stopped before they do this to more people and really risk lives more than they already have. Many of you may want to believe that this is God chastising my channel out of existence, and you may be right. After all, I did pray for just that if it was needed. However, in my prayers today, seeking for guidance on this issue, I did come across the following statement on my news feed from one of the people I am sub to, and it's a thought that I really had not considered up to this point, but was reiterated through a conversation I had with Sam Shamoon a time ago on my channel, and it reads as follows, I quote, "Christians on pedestals and behind pulpits should take note. Dark forces work harder to take you down than they work on those in the pits. They've already succeeded in some of the latter cases. Ravi Zacharias sadly offers a case in point." This indeed could be chastisement for me to stop my channel. It could also be the potency of the attack due to my effectiveness in pitching truth at a complacent and stagnant environment of exchange where conviction is rarely delivered and the same people argue the same things in perpetuity while heretics run rampant and unchecked, obfuscating truth and teaching damnable doctrines. I was standing against all of this in ways that none of you were, and consequently, so much effort from so many heretical deviants has been spent to try and silence me. You really think God is using these people to bring righteous danger on multiple of my family who don't deserve it? Indeed, I can actually see that this may have just happened to me because maybe I happen to be uniquely equipped to actually put an end to what has been a near decade of terror and abuse from this small little community of backbiting and slandering swine. If any of you have any extra information or stories about these people, please reach out to me and share so I can add it to my growing file. I am covering this in prayer and putting it in God's hands, and I believe the real reason for this will be answered in time. If my efforts lead to nothing, and these people are still able to roam free and engage in these antics, I will take it as a sign my channel is intended to stay down, and I am intended to stay away. However, if I succeed in bringing accountability and justice on these people who did this, I will more likely believe this is just an evil attack that has been put in front of me to deal with and conquer, and maybe ultimately for a greater good. These people have truly forced my hand to follow through in doing all I can to bring this to the attention of the appropriate authorities, and if successful, I will take this to have been a test of faith and endurance, with the beginning looking like a loss, but the end being a victory. Joseph spent a good chunk of his young life in bondage, only to ultimately rise to second above Pharaoh. David was forced into hiding through the murderous rage of Saul, but was still protected and guided to his kingship. I encourage all of you, true saints, to cover me and my family in prayer, and that his will be done in all of this. I will keep the Patreon up for people to have direct interaction with me, and where an occasional Patreon-only live stream may be scheduled upon request. The funds from this will go to my efforts to holding these dangerous people accountable for their actions. The people involved, as I can tell, are Thick Shades, aka Sam, likely lives in California, even though he says Korea, at least from what the research so far has revealed. Bill from Ministry of Reconciliation channel, Andy Cap, Ryan the Presbyterian, who is pretty much the only potential source of the first leak. Bruce, aka Saint Brucifer, aka Blessed Bible Fight Club, is the one who actually admitted on live stream, which I recorded, to the first doxing that got all this started, and has also said he would kill me if I was in front of him. So I am confident this probably clearly shows malicious intent for cyberstalking and doxing, which is definitively a crime in my state. It was only after Bruce posted these dox links in Ryan's stream where Thickshades was present that troll accounts and threats in Thickshades stream happened. And of course, let's not forget Levite Khan, who just jumped on the doxing bandwagon. Anyone surprised that the guy that condones polygamy is throwing dirt? All of these people have been theologically embarrassed by me in the past and have been called out for deviants or heretics. Ryan the Presbyterian alone could have heard that last name that was on that voicemail to the phone number he was given, the very phone of the person they have doxed, that I am helping during a difficult time of malicious, unfair, and nonsensical prosecution that seeks to suppress and ignore exonerating evidence. Big surprise, it is only all of Ryan's friends that started trolling, harassing, and talking about this. He blames the atheists, but I've seen no atheists attempt to dox with this information. These are who these people are: the heretics, the rebellious, the untrustworthy, the wolves among sheep. And are you so surprised they are capable of such evil? Consider that while you all weigh in with your righteous judgment of the actions of these amoral degenerates to endanger people and their families because of misrepresentations and assumptions. At least 3 of my family seem to have been doxed, and others may follow, which has forced my hand to seek assistance from the authorities and turn in all those who engage in these illegal and dangerous antics, so they can't do this to anyone else, and that hopefully there will be an example to the community at large that others will be fearful of the same. These people do believe they can get away with anything, and I do ask that all of you lift this up in prayer and guide my hand and resources to bring about a just and righteous conclusion. They are getting what they want. They are getting me to step away from making content for the time being until I feel this environment is safe again and certain resolutions have manifested. However, they may not be happy with what they are actually getting. With the extra time at my disposal for not making content, I intend to direct my attention at them and gathering information and evidence about all their illegal and dangerous antics over the years. The more I collect, the more likely I can convince a DA or judge to take action. That being said, if you have any stories, testimonies, screenshots, video clips, email addresses, domain names, or anything else on these people and their dangerous and illicit activity, please send it over to me. You can find my email on my About page. There are several of you that have already been diligent about doing this even without me asking, and you are very much appreciated. You have helped me gather quite a lot already, and you are a gift from God, showing that some of you are not so quick to jump to the conclusions that so many others are desperate to jump to. Let this be an epitaph to my channel, that even in my last moments of productivity on this medium, I have shown you the true fiber of these supposed Christians in your midst, and despite all their pleas about caring about people, they are all too happy to put people in danger and the family of other people in real physical peril. Even in my channel's final content, the work of unveiling the fakes and frauds in our midst has been done. None of them even bothered to try to represent the information they had correctly, which perfectly shows there was nothing but malicious intent here, and any of you that have run with this and done your own videos are just carrying forward that malfeasance and illegal activity and it will come back to bite you sooner or later. God is not mocked. Whatever you sow, that you also shall reap. With their common enemy gone, their betrayal to each other again is just a matter of time, and I will be watching, and so will those who are coming together to help me. This may have happened to me so that I can do exactly this. I wasn't paying attention to them. I wasn't coming to their channels. They kept coming to mine. They show clear signs of their obsession and stalking before any of this even happened, taking it upon themselves to try and take me down by any means necessary and let them feel they have won. But what they have really done is taken my attention off of my channel and put it on them. The truth is, I don't need this. I have my own business and life away from this cancerous conversation sphere, and I have people that depend on me. Maybe, if God wills, and certain validations I have prayed over actually occur, I will come back, and with even more fervor and determination than previously. With that, I will leave all you true saints and warriors with my wishes of peace and grace on you all, and hope you will learn from these events and grow in your faith and knowledge till we meet again in this world or the next. And one final thing, while you all rush to judgments and assumptions to help continue to put people in danger in your continued campaign of malicious assumptions and hate, are you all so certain that these are all the same person? How about this one? This is a driver's license photo that may or may not be a member of my family, and may or may not even be the person in the mugshot that you are all drooling over. How about this one? This looks pretty darn close to ours, so it must absolutely be me. There's no chance this could be a completely unrelated person at all. Oh wait, it is. A guy named Stephen Wiggins, who is wanted for murder in a state that I have never even been to. If I could have such a close resemblance to someone completely unrelated, how brilliant are all of you to jump to immediate deniability I could have a familial resemblance to someone accused of something. The people that engaged in this campaign are purely evil, amoral monsters, and if you are jumping on the bandwagon, you aren't far behind them in your personal moral fortitude, and this will serve as a mirror to reflect this upon you. You all don't even consider that Nakasuchi the Dumblet may have been trolled with breadcrumbs to go look for a debate with Jesse Lee Peterson that actually wasn't even me, but just hilariously looked a lot like me. Too bad that long-running troll campaign will miss its payoff. For all you know, I found a funny clip of someone super similar to me and kept it in my back pocket as a lesson about assumptions and judgment and failures at discernment. Not really very usable now, but I will chuckle about it myself for some time to come. Well, to conclude, if you all really believe that all of these are the same person, then I guess.
Right.